You descend into a darkness that feels alive. The torchlight above flickers out one by one as you're led deeper into the earth. Each step echoes louder than the last. The stairwell narrows. The air grows wet and heavy. You can taste the stone-cold, metallic, ancient. The sound of the world fades, until there's only the scrape of boots and the muffled thud of your heartbeat. Then the gate slams shut behind you. The sound is final, like the closing of a tomb. You are in the dungeon now, beneath a castle locked in siege. The walls breathe cold. The floor sweats. Water drips from somewhere unseen, its rhythm mocking the silence. You exhale and see your breath bloom into mist. The torch near the door flutters, barely fighting the damp air. Then it dies, leaving only the sound of wind howling through cracks in the stone. The first hour passes slowly. You realize the cold doesn't just cling, it creeps. It crawls under your skin, seeps into your bones, dulls your thoughts. You rub your hands together, but there's no warmth to steal. Every inhale burns. Every exhale feels like surrender. Above, faint booms shake the walls. Catapults, maybe. Shouts distant and muffled. The siege continues. Life and death play out somewhere you can no longer reach. Down here, there's no glory, no heroism, only time and temperature grinding against your resolve. You try to speak, but your voice sounds alien, small, swallowed by the void. Your own breathing becomes louder, more disparate. The air grows thin, and then it hits you. You're not waiting for rescue. But in a dungeon buried deep beneath stone and silence, cold behaves differently. It lingers, it seeps, it waits. Light doesn't reach, air doesn't move. Body heat traded like coin. But in solitary, there was only you, your breath, your heartbeat, your thoughts, slowing.
I cannot go on.
Historians don't agree on how many froze to death. Why? Because no one cared enough to count. Cold was never written as the killer. It didn't need to be. The dungeon was the executioner. Winter simply sharpened the blade. So when we ask, could you survive a single night? It's not about courage. It's not about will. It's about biology. And biology doesn't bend. Silence isn't what you'd expect. Not here. Not in a dungeon carved beneath stone and siege. Because here, silence has teeth. Stone amplifies everything. It carries. It twists. It lies. A footstep above, it echoes like thunder. A distant scream becomes a ghost. Chains scrape. Maybe yours. Maybe not. You stop asking. Then the siege. Catapults hammer the walls above. You don't see them, you feel them. The floor trembles. Dust sifts from the ceiling. Masonry groans. Will this be the hit that buries you? You don't know. You can know. You just wait. But the worst sounds aren't from war. They're from what's still alive. Below. With you. Rats. Skittering. Unseen, but never far. Water. Dripping in perfect rhythm. A clock with no mercy. A moan. Soft at first. Then louder. Then words that aren't words anymore. You freeze. You don't want to be heard. Not down here. Dungeons weren't single cells. They were echo chambers. It growls. By the 12th, it whispers. Not in words, but in weakness. A slow, hollow ache that settles into your bones. And this is only the beginning. Medieval dungeons weren't designed to feed you. They were designed to forget you. If you were lucky, you got a piece of stale rye bread, a cup of thin, cold gruel. The bread? So hard, you soaked it in the gruel just to chew. If the guards liked you, if they didn't, this past was nothing but water. Maybe. The nobles paid for food, the powerful bribed for warmth. But you're forgotten, you're disposable. And now, your body knows it. As your stomach empties, your senses sharpen, you smell rot, you taste mold, you see too clearly in the dark. Your brain tries to survive, but there's nothing left to find. After 2 days, hunger moves from belly to brain. Your thoughts slow. You forget why you're here, or when, or if you still are. One prisoner carved marks in the wall, a line for every meal. He stopped after 4. Others bit into leather, chewed straff. Some drank their own urine. Desperation doesn't ask permission. In some sieges, they whispered of cannibalism, not for evil, for survival. The cruelty here, it wasn't always with blades. Sometimes it was just starvation. Even when food came, it was weaponized, withheld for silence, promised for confessions. Guards ate in front of you, as slow, loud, smiling. You watched stew steam in the torchlight. You smelled roast chicken from behind the bars. You swallowed dry air as your body turned on itself. Eventually, Musleh, but measured. They want suffering, but prolonged. No screams, they tighten. Too loud, they stop. Let silence do the damage. You're not a prisoner now. You're a puzzle, to be pulled apart, slowly, methodically. The chair of spikes waits, a seat that bleeds you dry. Sit still, you bleed. Shift, you bleed more. And the air, it stinks of iron, sweat, charred skin, desperation, like prayers left too long in the mouth. Sometimes they whisper lies. Say your family's next. Say your lover already confessed. Say you begged last night, even if you didn't. The body breaks, but the mind cracks faster. You start to believe them, not because they're convincing, because it's easier than resisting. You stop counting pain, start counting silences. And sometimes, the worst never arrives. They let you wait, staring at tools never used. It's not mercy, it's mental erosion. The priests call it penance. The lords call it justice. The guards call it duty. But you call it what it is. The unraveling of self. Because even if you survive, you won't walk the same, won't sleep the same, won't ever trust a closed door again. And when the torch flickers behind the next silhouette, you don't pray for escape. You pray for a pain you recognize. Because the only thing worse than being broken is being forgotten while it happens. You forget what day it is, then what time, then whether you're even awake. Silence doesn't stay silent. It starts to whisper. Your thoughts loop. Your breath echoes. You hear sounds you never made, footsteps that never come. You're not sure if someone passed by or if your mind just made them up. The torch hasn't been lit in days. You think, the air grows stale. Each breath tastes of stone. Each heartbeat Fanti, you wonder, if the siege ended, would they even come back? History says no. Sometimes they didn't. Cells reopened months later, only bones left. Fingernails carved prayers into the wall. 100 Lord's prayers, each one smaller than the last. Imagine the silence of victory. Above, trumpets, shears, feasts, and below, you. Unmoving, unnoticed, unrecorded. You might bang the walls, you might scream, but no one hears the dying whisper under thunder. Even if the gates open tomorrow, will you walk out whole, or will the light blind you, and the air feel wrong, and the silence call you back? Because the siege above might end, but the siege inside you never does. The body breaks slowly, but the mind, faster. You count stones until you forget the numbers, trace cracks with your finger until the walls feel like skin. You whisper, at first, words, then fragments, then silence. You invent sounds just to hear something that isn't breath, but even your voice betrays you. There's no fire, no light, no rhythm but your own hunger. Sleep becomes a rumor, dreams blur into waking. You close your eyes, but time keeps watching. The dungeon was never meant to kill you, just everything inside you. It strips your name, erodes your memories, replaces your story with silence. Would you survive it? Maybe, but who would you be? On the other side? You might leave the cell, but the cell wouldn't leave you. It would live in your breath, in the way you flinch at quiet, in how your eyes search corners for cracks that whisper. That's the truth. Most forget. Dungeons don't need chains to hold you. Only time, only cold, only you, alone, with the version of yourself you didn't know could rot. That's why they worked, not because they were cruel, but because they were patient. Would you have made it? Maybe the question is, would you still be you? If you did,